Welcome back, everyone. Going in the final hour here of week 26. Adam, what's up?
I really like how the whole time that we were on break, chat tried really hard to decide whether or not Higgs was a reptiloid. It's pretty awesome. So we have a modified Mr. Sicarian back on the ship. You have your new crew member, Eric, and Peony and Dr. Hobbs and Pi take basically the whole night. You just stay up all night talking to Pi. And at the end of that, like maybe at like dawn, as the sun is coming up, Dr. Hobbs says to you, Peony, well, this is quite an interesting situation that you have here. I understand what it is you're trying to do, to embody this AI. It's admirable, but may I speak with you a moment outside?
Sure. Like
Okay.
outside the ship?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just kind of laughed because I thought she just meant outside the door. I'm like, well,
No,
I'm not sure it's gonna matter, but
yeah, I think she
yeah,
she
I
gets
I
the impression.
I would go outside the ship, sure.
Okay. So you go outside, and the dock is quieter than before. And the sun is coming up, and you can see like she's tired, she's exhausted from being up all night. But she says to you, "Now, I've spent my entire life building robotics. I built combat chassis for the Pfotenhauer Society. I've built special projects for the government here as well, and I have to tell you, Peony, it's very dangerous. Pi is, by nature, an amoral entity. You can't think of them the way that you do human children. I can see that the two of you are very attached, and I understand what you're trying to do. That if Pi were your son or daughter, that this would be appropriate, but you have to understand you're putting yourself, the crew, everyone in danger simply by having this thing on board."
I can certainly appreciate your concern. You're not the first one to express it, but let me ask you, have you ever seen anything like Pi?
Not personally.
Then
No.
what's to say? Who are you to judge whether it's right or wrong?
I'll be honest with you, Peony. My own curiosity, it's going to get the better of me. I'm going to help you, but I need you to know this may not go as well as you think.
Well, what do you mean?
AI can be very dangerous. Human life, it doesn't mean anything to them. Individual humans, yes, perhaps. I have no doubt in my mind that Pi wouldn't harm you or other members of the crew if they could help it. That they see you as a real thing, but my God, the danger you're posing to people they don't know. And
You know, I, again, I appreciate your concern. I've traveled this fucking galaxy. I've run into the scum of the earth. I've run into people who, frankly, didn't deserve to live in this thing we call space. But the one thing that's always been there for me on the ship has been Pi. I'm finding more and more that that's my constant more than anyone else in the entire world. So I don't I cannot measure the weight that you put on this. It's not the same to me.
I need you to ask yourself something, Peony. Are you doing this for them, or are you doing this for you?
Does the answer to the question really matter?
I think that it does. I need to know you're being honest with yourself.
I've known from the moment that Pi said hello that I was holding on to one of the most special things I'd ever I'd ever seen in my entire life. I know what I'm true to, and I know the ship knows what I'm true to. So, to me, absolutely. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly what I want. And I know exactly what I think I need to do for Pi.
Do you believe in destiny, Peony?
Word's been coming up a lot lately, but yeah, maybe a little.
I don't think I did until very recently. I don't have a lot of time left, and I'm something of an outcast on this planet. She kind of like looks around sadly, and looks back to you. But if I'm to do one last thing, perhaps this is it.
What do you mean, one last thing?
And she kind of like gestures to herself, like, I'm not exactly in my prime.
Right. Well, I'd certainly appreciate the help. I can't say I understand your relationship to this planet or what you deal with, but believe me, myself, Pi, and the crew would be grateful.
I want you to do something for me in exchange. I'll do this for you. I'll build a neural computer that can store your AI.
What do you
But
want?
I want to give them something.
I've run across a few people who wanted to give Pi something. Forgive me if I'm not too comfortable, but please elaborate.
My research. All my work. I'm going to die, and not in too long, but if I can pass it along to Pi, then, well, then my work won't die. Can't, in fact. And besides, it would be very useful to Pi if the chassis were ever damaged or you were captured, some harm befell you, they wouldn't be trapped relying on you to take care of them. I want to give them something that they can use to self-repair, to grow. What do you think?
I mean, you think it's my decision. I say yes, but you must ask Pi.
I will.
I'm sure he won't. I'm sure he won't turn away the knowledge. As you've seen, he's a hungry boy.
Good, well, then I suppose we'd best get started. Okay.
Right?
So she takes you, like, you're allowed to be, we'll montage through it. And basically what we see is like scenes of the chassis in her lab and her like replacing parts and like helping you like pick and choose and change things, and like her working on the neural net and getting your input, and then stuff on the ship of the like body there being hooked up and like tried out. Maybe some like awkward kind of like Bambi style like first steps, and then the body like falls over, and like the two of you being like, and having to like pick it back up and like start fixing it again. And at the end of it, we get to this like the scene, and like, who do you want to be there? Is everyone there for Pi's like awakening? Like basically you're like, we're ready to like put Pi in this robot body.
Nah, this is like an intimate moment more than like.
Well, do you tell the crew that this is happening?
Well, so Prosper knew, and then Prosper said something to the rest of the crew.
Right, but I'm saying that this is happening like like on the ship.
No,
Yeah.
like I said, I snuck the old woman in, so.
It's happening on the ship, but nobody is staying on the ship. I feel like the only person that might encounter it would be Eric.
Right.
So maybe like you, Peony, you get on the ship. You two keep missing each other. So maybe at some point like we see like Peony, you're like, okay, come on, like stand up, you can do it. And then like the body gets up and like totters a little bit and falls back down. And then Eric is like standing in the doorway. Like you look over and Eric is just like standing there looking and like seeing what's happening.
Can I play with your sex doll? Hi.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm Eric.
So yeah, Pi says, he's Eric.
Eric who?
Eric's our new engineer. Higgs hired him.
Eric Fretheim. It's nice to meet you.
Eric, nice to meet you. Name's Peony Pick.
Do you make robots?
I don't. But Dr. Hobbs here does.
Oh, I hate robots.
Hobbs is still there, right? Or did... What?
He's the opposite!
What the fuck do you mean you hate robots?
It's like a religion. I kill everyone associated with robots.
I kill all robots.
Robots are freaky. Look at them. That one right there is especially freaky.
So Pi says, don't worry, Eric. It's just an experiment. We're trying to make something. Don't worry. It'll be okay.
I don't understand them. I like engines.
The fucking ship is practically a robot. Just one that flies around.
No. Astronautics is very different. I understand astronautics.
Oh, Eric. Yeah.
There's...
I like to think that Higgs just comes over the loudspeaker. Yeah, we're going to give Eric a promotion real quick.
Yeah, Eric is second in command of the ship now. I fucking love this dude.
But that doesn't
Well,
happen.
so, Eric's met everyone. You met Pi, right?
There's something strange about you.
About me.
Yes. Can you hold out your hand?
I hold out my hand.
He places his penis in your hand.
So I like reach down from my towering height and I put my Viking hand over top of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel something very strange, Peony.
Oh, shit.
Your normal reserves of psi points. How many psi points do you have?
I have 16.
It all of a sudden it feels like you have access to more than twice that amount.
Yeah, so from your perspective, Peony, you remember like vaguely an exercise at the academy about like sharing psionic energy, like being able to tap into someone else's stores of power, and you were never that good at it. Like it was something that like you tried to learn, and they were eventually like, no, this is just not where you're at. Let's take you back to biosci, and you can work on that. And when you touch Eric, you feel this sudden like buoyant feeling of like power, like you could do so much more than you could before, as long as you're like in contact with him. It's like it's a very powerful feeling.
I think that, like, Peony actually pulls away,
Yeah.
but not in a, like, holy shit, you're fucking weird way, but almost like a, like, whoa, totally wasn't expecting that, but that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, Eric just has a big smile on his face. He says, well, I think we might get along anyway.
Where are you from, Eric?
I'm from Sigrid, but I studied on Hoveda.
I think
So
we
you
will get
know-
along.
You know about Hoveda, and everyone in the universe knows this, that like Hoveda is a culture that like very highly values psychics. They have some of the best like psychic researchers and training in the whole sector.
So,
it's a
and I
big-
would
it's
know
a big
that,
deal.
right?
Yeah, totally.
We should definitely talk later.
I think so. I'm going to go back to the engine room now. I'll see you later. And then Eric just like, there's a crackle and then a sound of thunder, and Eric just vanishes in front of your eyes.
Awesome. Fucking big showy Eric.
Awesome.
I'll see you later.
I don't like robots, but travel through dimensions is fine.
Excuse me, I'm just going to teleport over here. Bye.
It would seem my leg is in the wall. If you could
Yeah.
please amputate the other side.
You hear like way down the hallway, like, oh, this room is smaller than I thought it was. Ow. Aw, Eric, I love you. All right. So that happens, and then Pi just says to you, Piani, like, well, that was unusual.
It was. Do you know what happened there?
No. No, I do not.
You know, Piani's got that thing, right? MES.
Yes, I do.
I think Eric's got it too. But
That's very interesting.
it's different than mine.
Now you won't be alone.
I suppose.
Awesome.
I just pictured Sicarian playing a prank on Eric. He's like, "Oh, I can do that too. Let's touch hands." And then he just like ah! He starts screaming and pissing himself.
I'm very terrified.
Oh man, when people have mental breakdowns, I just get the biggest kick out of it.
Yep. All right, so Piani, you get to the point where Dr. Hobbs has you're having the conversation, and like I think that Dr. Hobbs has asked Pi, like, is this okay? Like, can I give you my research? Like, is this something that you want? And Pi, of course, is like, yes, absolutely. Like,
Okay.
please.
I'm okay with that.
And then who's in the room? Like, she's installed the brain in the body, and basically has told you, like, well, I've done everything I can. It's up to you to make the transfer. When you're done, Pi's consciousness will transfer from the ship to this body. Whenever you're ready. And do you do it? Are you like alone when that happens?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Okay.
And I think I would probably well, like, this is like, I cannot just be like, you can go back to the ship, you can go to your chassis, you can go, like, is this so?
You'd have to like, based on your understanding of it, you would have to like link them up manually and transfer from one to the other.
Okay. But like, this isn't a permanent situation to the point where I couldn't.
No, you could always transfer them back if they chose to. Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't like your new body,
I'm ready.
we can always go back home to the computer.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So Pi's body is like in a seated position. Cable's all like kind of holding it up. And there's the transfer cable, and all you have to do on the screen is just like hit the go button, and it'll transfer. Okay. So it starts to transfer, and Pi is like, Pi says like, oh, this is unusual.
What's wrong? Is everything okay?
I think so. It feels strange.
Well, talk to me.
Like Pi's voice starts to slow down while they're talking as it like processes, and you can hear sounds coming from the like speakers on the chassis, and it's like coming up through both speakers now in this like slow kind of like underwatery like voice, and it's like a little unnerving. I think like you feel like sweat start to beat on your forehead.
Are you okay, Pi?
The arm like twitches a little bit, and as it gets closer, like yeah, Pi, like the robot body like twitches a little and like is kind of like seizing a little bit, and Pi is still trying to talk, but it's all like slow and confused, and then it reaches the end of the progress bar and like finishes. Screen goes blank, and Pi is, I guess, like face like plate thing. Like how anthropomorphic is it? Is it just like a flat screen that displays like a smiley face like on LEDs, or is it like a human looking face, or?
No, it's not. It's definitely not a human-looking face. Like it definitely looks like a robot, and it would absolutely be more like a
More like-
chappy robot than a
Sure.
iRobot, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I would say even like Chappie Extreme too, even though some parts were replaced and she, doesn't exactly mix and match all over. Like maybe internals were replaced, but
Slightly more Johnny Five than like Bjork's
Right.
video. Okay,
right, exactly.
you're a long way off from a Nexus 6 model. Okay.
Johnny Five alive.
Yeah, so Pi's new body like kind of like twitches a little bit and then stops, and one arm like reaches back and like pulls the like cabling free, and then like stands up and kind of like looks back and forth. It's like cameras blinking, and then looks at you, and like takes a step forward, like kind of like an anxious step, and then takes another and like wobbles a little bit, and then kind of like stands up, and then steps forward again, and like reaches out towards you like suddenly. What do? Do you like recoil or?
No, not at all.
Okay, so
Like,
yeah, so Pi's new buddy like leans down and like picks you up and just like squeezes you, and like you're like hanging off the ground and feet kicking, and he just like gives you a big hug, and then like puts you down and kind of like looks at you, and I think like the body is probably like a foot taller than you, and so it looks down and says, "I think it worked," and when it says that. When the body says that, you hear it coming from both the body and the speakers on the ship. And when Pi hears that, they like look up and they're like, "Oh, that's unusual." And then they stop, and then the voice comes from the ship and says, "I seem to have been," and then it finishes the sentence in the body, "replicated." Odd.
replicated.
I come over the speaker and I'm just like, what was that, Pi? What the fuck did you just say?
What do you
Nothing,
mean?
Higgs. Nothing, Higgs. Everything is fine.
No, Piani!
There's,
So, yeah, so...
there's two of you.
Yeah, I think that that Pi is like, no, just one in, and then like imagine the sentence is like ending and starting in different places. Different places. I can feel the ship and the body too. Strange.
I think it's fucking awesome. I mean, Piani's like cheering. It's celebration. She takes
Yeah.
out a fucking bottle that she stole from Higgs and she fucking pops it open,
Woo!
starts
Cool.
drinking.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, and so Pi just like spends a little while like just walking around the room and being like picking things up and like turning them around and like putting them down and being like really overwhelmed by being in a physical space. And then looks at you at some point and says, I would like to go and see the rest of the crew. Can we?
We can. Let's
So
do it.
Higgs and Eric, you're both on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Pi looks at you, Piani, is like, we should leave Eric alone. I think he'd be scared.
That's fine.
Let's go scare Higgs. And like turns and starts to walk towards.
I'm like,
walk-
yeah.
Walk towards the. Are you on the bridge or are you in your quarters?
No, I'm on the bridge.
Okay. All right. So, Pi walks up to the door of the bridge and like knocks on it. It's like clunk clunk clunk.
Yeah, come in. Whoever that is, come in.
So the door opens and Higgs, you see or you hear like a robotic sound. You hear like, and a voice being like, destroy, kill all humans. And like Pi comes into the room doing like the robot. So you see Piani like looking in the room and this robot just comes in like,
Uh,
boop beep exterminate beep boop.
can I make a luck check to determine if I have a gun on me or not?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Because I don't want to just say I pull my gun. It's a 14.
Yeah, eat
Nope.
shit.
So I go to like pull my gun. I'm just like,
oh shit.
no, I'm just like, Jesus fuck! Just like back up into the wall. I'm just like, I don't let anything.
Laughing from the doorway.
So
like the
yeah,
moment
so
I hear
very,
Jesus
very,
fuck.
yeah, very stilted, very adored. Like obviously, like doing an impression of someone they saw laughing. Pi like puts their hands where their stomach would be and is like, ha ha ha! You should have seen your face, Higgs. And looks over at Piani. Is like, what a jackass.
I come in and I'm just like,
so scared.
yeah, look at you now, Higgs. You
All the
fuck."
cameras flicker to Higgs freaking out.
Yeah. I'm just.
We gotcha.
I'm like staring at Robot Pie, and I look over at Pie. What the fuck did you do? And I go up and like
Eat
maybe
pie.
touch Pie. Robot
Yeah, Pi puts their like robot hand manipulator thing out and is like, "Come with me if you want to live." Ha ha ha! And, like shakes your hand.
Yeah, I shake the hand. I'm just like, is this a good thing, Piani?
It's fucking great. What do you mean? Is it a good thing?
Pie, can you?
Higgs, let me paint you a picture.
Please. Oh,
Never
please
got
don't.
that feeling that maybe there's a higher power who's constantly trying to
Never.
just fuck you?
Never.
know,
I've never heard anything like
and-
that ever.
and
Who
we're
would think
only
such
a crew
a thing?
of 4. Like maybe, just maybe, for once, would be a crew of 5.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that sounds cool. Can he shoot a gun?
No.
Well, please make sure that he never learns how to do that.
All right.
What can you do? And what do I call
Everything.
you?
Yeah,
this-
Pi turns their new robot head towards you, and just says, I'm not sure. Give me some time. I'll figure it out.
Okay, I guess this is cool. Did you show Eric? By the way, did you meet Eric? He's our new
I
crew
did.
member.
Where'd you find him?
Yeah, my old pal Buford recommended him. I went and talked with Buford. I had to go meet him on another planet.
So Pi leans in while you're talking. You mentioned Eric leans into Higgs and says, like attempted conspiratorially, it's like, Higgs, Eric is terrified of robots. This is gonna be hilarious. You should come watch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go. Just got like a big grin on my face.
Okay, so the three of you make your way towards the engine room, and Eric, what are you doing right now when before this happens? What do we see?
So there's a big trash can in the middle of the engine room, and it's just filled with yellow sticky notes.
Right.
And I'm like up under one of the engines, just like cursing in space Norwegian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So you hear the like hailing noise on the door, like someone is at the door. Like,
Come in!
it just beeps again, like beep.
And a string of space Norwegian curses. He slides himself out from under the engine. He walks over to the door. He pushes the open button. I said, come in.
So the door slides open and there's this like robot standing there, and it just puts its arms out and it's like, Eric,
It's as I feared.
Eric. And it's like coming towards you, like with its arms out.
Oh, hello. It's nice to meet. Like I hold out like my hand and like grab one of its hands.
I think it just puts its arms around you and is like, I love you, Eric, and like picks you up. It's just like squeezing you.
Most people can't pick me up. I look at Piani. I say, Piani, this is you have put nice articulators on your robot.
So
And he just like looks
have.
a little bit tense.
yeah, and I think that the robot puts you down and like releases you and is like looks at Piani and is like, well, that wasn't quite as hilarious as I had hoped, but hello, Eric. And like the robot puts its hand out this time.
Eric reaches out and stiffly shakes the robot hand.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. This is a nice ship, but whoever did your repairs last did a horrible job. They were really bad at it.
Eric?
I can't believe it.
Eric?
It's a good thing you guys got rid of that person.
Everyone in the room is just like,
Yeah, I just like turn. I'm just like, Eric, I know you seem like a good guy. Don't you
Oh,
ever
thank
fucking
you.
talk like that of our past crewmate.
Oh, no, I'm sure they were a good person. They were just a really bad mechanic. It's okay. I'll fix what they screwed up.
I'm just like, tolerance. I just like to say that under my breath. I'm just, oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. That was a terrible joke, Pie, and you guys have a good night. This has been fucking weird day. All right. I'm going to my crew quarters. You guys, and I just like clap my hands and I walk out of the room.
Higgs out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So before they leave, Pi looks at you, Eric, and says, "Our last mechanic's story is kind of sad. I'll tell you about it sometime. Everyone's been a little sore since Mr. Sicarian killed him."
Eyes just like dinner plate sized. Mr. Sicarian killed the last mechanic.
So Pi puts their like manipulator on your shoulder and is like, "Don't worry, it had to happen. I'll explain everything later." Okay, so
Yeah, I just kind
Hi.
of let that happen.
yeah, so Pi and Peony leave the room and go back to performing like the kinds of like close like calibrations you would need to do. Like basically it was just like, hey, it works, let's run around and do stuff. But then you're like, okay, actually we have to go back and like deal with this stuff and like make sure everything is like tuned properly and get all that sorted out. So you do that. You go back to doing that. I think that nothing else really like particularly happens on Cabral. Like Prosper set you all up with a place to stay, and you have a chance to get your new computer installed. But what I want to know is, what does Mr. Sicarian tell Pfotenhauer? How do you respond to that email you got? So while all this silliness is happening, we cut from that back to Mr. Sicarian. And it's like 2 days later. What are you doing?
The hotel he's staying at, it's very clearly been like he's his own room service, so he cleaned it up very nicely, made it extremely Spartan, and has just been kind of doing like calisthenic workouts and stuff like that to help his body mend quicker and get his strength back. And I guess if we're cutting back to him, he's over his portable data terminal or whatever we call a computer at the time. And he's just writing up the contact that he's been with. Would that be Miss Fate rather, or would that
Yeah, she's the one that's acting as the. And actually, this is something that you would want to think about, like, and maybe there's a scene about that first. But you need a second. You need somebody to be your second for the duel.
He would actually then write up an email to, what is the name of the lead Viking that gave him the thunder gun?
Olaf Olafsson.
He would write Olaf Olafsson then.
Nice, Olaf. I need you, friend.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just like Olaf, and it just says like, assuming you're still not as weak as, assuming you're not as weak as a babe on your mother's tit, I would like you to accompany me in what should be a fantastic duel with an arch rival. I need you by my side.
All right, your adopted Viking brother, your clan brother. Cool. All right, so you send off your message to Olaf, son of Olaf, and that's the easy message. But the hard one is, you're staring at this message to Miss Fate.
Yeah, it just says, Miss Fate, here are the coordinates. The planet is such and such. It's, well, for the benefit of everyone else. What is the name of it again?
You want to use Andoni? Was that the
No,
plan?
it's the one that was right next to us in the system that's been ravaged by an orbital.
This one. Yeah, Bazignos.
Bazignos. So
Cool.
it's Bazignos. Here's the coordinates for the exact location, and that location is like near one of the actual ground zeros for the orbital strike. So it's not like it's not
Awesome.
irradiated, but it's just a fucked up city.
You can have your fight on the roof of a castle. Rad. Cool.
Oh shit.
That's awesome. Yeah, like a TL2 planet, just a bunch of dudes with like muskets as you battle. Cool.
Yep.
Chain swords and bolters.
No diss or anything like that. Just that's all it says.
Okay.
And
Cool.
like it says the date, which is minus whatever's passed between now.
Yeah, I'll see you in whatever. Yeah, it's the because I guess you need to get surgery and recover. Yeah, it's Wednesday the 6th. So you've got like 3 and a bit weeks before the duel.
And then immediately after sending that, he you can see him pull up another email, or not even email. He would just like earpiece calm Higgs and say, as I'm sure well, he says, Higgs, are you there? This is Mr. Sakari.
Yeah. I guess what time is this? Just middle of the night.
No, this is like later. This is a couple of days later or something.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you know, Sakarian, none of you have seen Sakarian since that.
We know that
day.
you went to the hospital, though, right, Joe?
Yeah, and then he just
Yeah.
kind of has been like, you know, wounded dog under the porch, like just taking care of himself, getting better.
Okay.
And then yeah, he just calls you up at random. It's the middle of the day. Maybe Higgs, like you're not on the ship. Maybe you're like in a cafe, and maybe we see you like with a tiny coffee or something, just being like
Yeah.
trying to pass time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I pick up. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Scarn, how's the healing process going?
Oh, it's going quite well.
You
I'm-
got some of those good. You want to give me some of those drugs?
That sweet
I
prescription.
think both the softened state it would put you in and the pain that it would alert me to would be unpleasant for the two of us. I would
Okay.
imagine.
All right. I was joking. Anyways, what's up?
I've sent communique to Mr. Titan, and the date is, as you knew, the 30 days ago, so it's roughly 3 weeks now. The location I made most convenient for all parties. It's going to be Bazingo. It can't be Bazinga's. Is that what it?
It's not. It's Bazignos.
It looks like
And it's
it looks
Bazingas.
like bazongas,
I know.
though.
It does sound like that, but it's not.
One more time.
Bazignos.
Okay. It's going
It's,
to be Bazignos.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's very nearby. It is safe for what is going to partake there. And I've asked Olaf to accompany me as my honor guard. You, of course, I would ask if you're comfortable with it, be there as more likely than not an escape plan if he tries to betray me.
Yeah.
Again.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look up where that planet's at. And this is the 6th. The 6th of January. Is that right?
That sounds about right.
Okay. Yeah, we can.
It's the first, but okay.
That works. Maybe I say the first.
I like too you're specifically picking a planet you don't have to jump to. Be like, yeah, look, it's not that I don't trust you to get us there, but I picked a planet that's within less than a jump drive space wise.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm just. Yeah. Do we need to go pick up Olaf? How's that gonna work?
Olaf should have his own transportation here, I would imagine.
It'll
Okay.
show up on a giant wooden longboat.
At
Okay.
least
Yeah.
a dragon-shaped ship, I would imagine.
Yeah, at least a ship that looks like a longboat.
That's that sounds great. Well, we got 3 weeks to kill. I hope you don't mind. We maybe can find something in system here. Maybe get a job. Just get some quick funds, and we'll go from
Oh
there.
no, and as he says, this kind of looks at his hand, and the tendril is like, actually like very much so in his control. Like he can do a lot more with it now. He says, I would rather very much so test everything. That would be great.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll start looking for jobs right away. I'm looking forward to the fight. I don't. It's gonna be fun. I don't. That sounds odd. Look, have a good healing process, man.
Oh no, and yeah, I'll be back to the ship fairly soon. My body is almost at a point now where I can resume regular day activities. But yes, please find us some work.
Yep, we'll do. We'll do.
Your body is almost ready. If it's not ready yet.
That's what I said.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So you're gonna keep healing. Higgs, you want to find like a job you can do like in this system?
Yeah.
Or like within like a close distance. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
And you
within the
have
surrounding
your
systems. The new nav.
your nav computer. So
Okay.
yeah, you're within one jump of a couple of. Hey, you're within one jump of home, Higgs. You could totally go back to ASA.
Go
Home.
back to ASA. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I guess I just put out feelers, like back at the ship. I go to the space bulletin board and put some put a notice up.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, I feel like that's probably the most we're gonna get out of that session. Hey, like
Yeah.
we can make some rolls, but like that feels like a good place to stop for me.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Word.
All right, well, let's do some shout outs and then wrap it up. Geoff, you want to start us off?
Sure, man. As always, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. It's always a pleasure and a blast to be doing this. Kind of the usual stuff for me. I'll be streaming on Twitch. I'm not doing any big travels, nowhere near what I was doing. So just if that's something you want to see, StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void, and CS:GO on my stream is primarily what I'm doing. That is cool. It's InControL TV on Twitch. Outside of that, I'm doing a Warhammer tournament this weekend. I'm probably going to take the War Convocation, which means nothing to most of you, but it's a bunch of robots and space zombies with guns, and it's going to be fucking awesome. That's basically what the Skitarii are. They're space zombies, kind of. And that's it. Thank you.
Cool stuff. Wheat, do some shout outs.
Yo, if you're going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, stop by Petco Park. I believe that if you have a San Diego Comic-Con entry that you can get in, but otherwise I'll be broadcasting that on /Skybound this weekend. Hope you guys had a great 4th. I loved this episode. Thank you. It was nice to have the 4 sort of paths going as well, so it's great. Thank you guys so much, and you know where to find me. Look me up.
There you go. Steven, do some shout outs.
Thank you all for watching. I'm having a lot of fun playing Eric, the Space Viking. If you're annoyed by my accent, I'm probably not going to stick to it nearly as much as I did with Prospers because it's closer to my own voice naturally anyway, so that's a thing. Yeah, I had a lot of fun saying goodbye to Prosper and also introducing Eric. It felt like we got a lot done in that episode as far as both of those characters, and that was really fun for me. So, yeah, as far as me, you can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube at Silent Osiris. That was a 0 in all 3 places. You may want to be following me on Twitter tomorrow. You can unfollow me right after. No pressure, because I'll probably 95% likely be announcing what game I'm currently working on, which I'm super excited about. So, hope at least some of you are. And that's about it from me. I think we got like Sagas of the Icelanders Thursday, JP. Is that on the schedule? Awesome. Yep. So that's going to be great. And yeah, that's it.
There you go. And last but not least, Adam, do some shout outs.
Yo, that was a good episode. I like the ones where we get to like tie a bunch of stuff up. Big shout outs to Prosper. See you later, buddy. Though, this won't be the last we're seeing of Prosper Trudeau. If you tune in to the GM turns, I'm going to ascend Prosper into the greater goings on of the universe. He's going to have some influence on how the Republic of Cabral operates from here forward. I feel like Trudeauism might be a new splinter of their religion. So keep an eye out for that. You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Adam Koebel, where I think, barring some random changes, this week I'm going to be trying to play through Shadowrun Dragonfall in prep for Hong Kong coming out in the next couple of weeks.
Nice.
So
it's good.
Yeah. So if you've got a hankering for some Shadowrun, come on over and watch me do that. You can follow me on Twitter, Skinny Ghost. That's where I am. I talk about nerd stuff all the time, and yeah, we will see you for the next episode.
Cool stuff. All right, we'll let you know when we're doing the next episode as soon as possible. Adam should have a QA up on the subreddit after this, so
it is up right now already.
There you go. Go and ask some questions if you have questions, and we'll see you guys for the next episode. We're out. Have a great night. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Later.
Peace.